Next, parallel processing. Most computers and controllers can only follow one flow or one thread of code at a time. A fast controller can follow more than one simultaneously or in parallel. A program with more than one thread executing at one time is multi-threaded. So you will understand when you look at the flow diagram. What do you mean by this multi-threaded or parallel processing? Every programming environment has its own rules for parallel or multi-threaded programming. The RCX rules involve the use of sensor watches. So that means, so it is based on a particular event. Okay, so these different threads are executed based on a particular input. Only the watching part is executed in parallel. So here in this example you can understand. So bumper car program. So this already we discussed in previous classes. So here it is a mobile robot. Okay, so which will move forward until it finds an obstruction. Okay, when it finds an obstruction, there are two possibilities. So you have two sensors towards right and towards left of the bumper of the robot. Or bumper car means, so or you can consider a car, a toy like car. Okay, then so if these sensors are actuated because of the contact of the obstacle, so then robot is made to stop for a few seconds. Then based on whether it is touching the on right or left, okay, whether the bumper towards right is coming in contact with an obstacle or towards left, based on that. So both cases it will stop, but then it will take a turn. Okay, if it is for pressed 1, so it will take left turn, press 3 it will take right. So this we discussed in previous classes. Now same program. So if you are following multi-threaded approach or parallel processing, instead of considering it as a single flow like this, so here it is like a single flow. Here we are having parallel flows or multiple threads. Okay. So here this is the main program and these two are threads. So main program will be executed if these two events don't occur. Okay, event 1 is, so if pressed 1, that means if sensor 1 gets a signal because of the obstacle. Okay, so then switch 1 will be pressed, then that will result in stopping the robot and making it to turn left. Okay. Next, if one more sensor is actuated, that is pressed 3, if this switch get actuated, then again robot will be stopped and it will take the back, it will come back and it will take a right turn. Okay, so after completion of this thread, once again main program will be taken for execution. So this is how parallel processing will be done. So main program will be executed as usual until an event occur, okay, which will initiate other threads. Like if we press 1, so that will initiate this thread. If press 3, that means that is another signal, so that will initiate this thread. The program first starts, it creates two watcher threads. The first one continuously tests to see if the first switch is pressed and the second thread watches switch 3. If the watcher is firmly in place, the main program runs and ends up in an endless forward moving loop. That means if switch 1 and switch 3 so don't get actuated, that means those particular event does not occur, so then main program will be executed as usual. If those events occur, then that particular thread will be considered for execution by suspending the main program for some time. After completion of that particular thread, once again main program will be executed. In the background, the watcher threads are waiting for a switch to be pressed. When a switch is finally pressed, the watcher takes control and runs its own program. So that is the thread. when the watcher thread is done, it returns control back to the main program. This is a form of interrupt programming where an event can interrupt one program in order to run a different subprogram. So here you have two different threads. They can be considered as subprograms. So they are actuated by an interrupt. So that means if switch 1 is pressed, so that is an interrupt. Okay, based on that, so that particular thread will be considered for execution. Next, line following. So this is also another strategy used to navigate robot. Okay, it may be based on color detection. Okay, so you will have a path. It may be a black path on the white floor. Okay, or it may be a white path on the black floor. Okay, so like that you will choose two colors and you can differentiate them as dark and bright. Okay, based on that, robot will choose the path. Okay, so you might have already watched some of the videos where you can have the color tape. Okay, and robot will follow the path of that color tape. Okay, so that is the line following approach. So here in this block diagram, here also there is a mobile robot. Okay, so it will follow a line. Set power means, so it is to give input regarding the speed at which the robot has to move. Okay, so that we are going to set using this option set power. Set power block is for adjusting the robot speed. Okay, then robot will move in forward direction until so it get the given are the program conditions. Okay, the robot turns left if it is on the white background and it turns left when it sees the line 2. Okay, there are two possibilities when the robot turn left. Okay, the robot turns left if it is on the white background and it turns left when it sees the line. It only turns right when it is on the edge, that is between bright and dark. So here this is a case where robot is not able to identify it as bright or dark. Okay, when it is in between, so then it will turn right. So there are three states in the sensor as programmed by the Lego people. So that means these are based on the Lego kits. So they are like robotic toys. Okay, bright, dark, and somewhere in between. Okay, this